All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my E46. We're actually going to be getting this thing ready for Las Vegas Strip on the 25th. Currently, we've actually swapped out the spark plugs on this thing. This thing does have a LS swap, and whenever we're actually doing the plugs, I accidentally ripped one of the wires out. Ripped the end right off of it. This end would work, but it doesn't quite reach for some reason. So I've been drifting this car for about 3 years straight. I've done over 25 events in this car with the LS swap, and these are the plugs that were in it that whole time. Whenever I did the LS swap, I actually got the engine out of a Trailblazer SS with 260,000 miles on it. So whenever I did that, I didn't touch the bearings, I didn't touch the valve seals or anything like that. And as you guys can tell, it kind of looks like my valve seals are leaking a little bit. The car does blow a little bit of white smoke here and there, but I'm just gonna ride it as long as I can. I'm just gonna disconnect my coil pack, that way I don't accidentally start a fire. The wire that's missing is actually right in front of my fuel pressure regulator, so let's just undo that for now. And we're gonna limp this thing home. I'm sure it'll be fine. So we're actually gonna be headed over to our new shop. That way we can get this thing all cleaned out, scrape the stickers off, just get it more presentable. That way we can think about the new design we're gonna do on this thing. Okay, guys, so next time I'll see you, we'll be at the shop. All right, so we made it to the shop. So we've actually been working on this shop for a little over a year.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, we actually built this thing from the ground up. We did the dirt work, concrete, framed it. The only thing we didn't do was the electrical, stucco, and the shingles, just because we didn't want our roof leaking. We didn't want, we wanted it to look good. This is it. Currently, we're just waiting for our bay door. We actually ended up getting scammed out of 2,400 bucks. We put a down payment on some and never got them. So I guess we got to come up with more money to buy our doors, but in time. We have big plans for this shop. We're actually going to be, we just purchased a lift, so we have to set that all up. We're going to be making more content in here, and hopefully it's a bit more professional looking compared to the shop. Yeah.
Not so many interruptions.
Yeah, our car lot, wherever we typically film content at, it's always pretty busy, and it's kind of hard to actually film and get everything sounding right because there's traffic going back and forth.
Car lot flags and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah, it gets pretty annoying, but we made it. We got a shop now, so time to just start pushing, and then we'll just keep pushing out the content. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. So now we're gonna start working on my BMW. So I'm just trying to make it look a little better. These graphics have been on the car for about like 3 years, maybe a little more, but they've been fading pretty bad. So we're going to be pulling those off of there. We're going to be using a rubber wheel. Then all these got to go as well. Like that thing's peeling pretty bad. We're going to get started with removing our decals. So let's get to it. So we have most of the decals off, and now I just gotta unbolt these flares. That way I can get this little edge right here. I gotta take all the flares off. So I swear this car is being held together by self-tappers. Last little bit of stickers we have on here. Then the other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing all these stickers. No offense to anybody, like I love Vegas Drift, I love LS Fest, but 2022, guys, it's been on there for a while. 3 years.
Yeah.
Time to start fresh. That was my favorite one. So the only sticker we're actually going to be leaving on here is the one nobody really knows about. This is a Great Ape from Dragon Ball Z. Some people will notice it and be like, oh, no way. So we'll leave it on there. This is the one I almost got arrested. Then I actually still have to fix the car. As you guys from earlier, I told you guys I was missing my my spark plug wire, and I drove it down here like that. Surprisingly, the LS does not drive too bad. We're gonna go over to our container where I have a bunch of these LS engines and pull one of the plug wires off of it. That way, it's good. All right, guys. Now we're just gonna pull the wire off of this LQ4 LS base engine. Hopefully without fucking up the other end. All right, that came out pretty good. So hopefully this is the right size. And if anyone's interested, I sell these engines for around 1,200 bucks. 6.0s, they're all tested. I can show you videos. Just leave the engine in the car so you can see it run or whatever. So if anyone's interested, let me know. 1,200 bucks, 6.0. So now we're gonna put our little heat shield on there. That way our wires don't melt. Connect it to our plug. Now connect it to the coil pack. All right, guys, now that we have this wire on there, it does seem to be the right size. So we're just gonna hook up our coil pack again. Let's go fire her up and see what she sounds like. So I'm not too sure if you guys saw that, but there was a little bit of white smoke coming out of the exhaust. It usually happens when I first turn on the car. If I'm sitting for a long time, then I gun it, but it's what it is. So right now we're actually we're gonna go take this thing out for a test drive. It's been about like 6 months, probably a bit longer since I've actually drifted this thing. So let's go see how she does. So I'm not too sure if any of you E46 nerds caught this early, but this is my hood prop. It's actually off of a Toyota Prius. But it works pretty slick. All I have to really do is undo this, flip it, let's see, latch it. Pretty easy. This is another one for the E46 gang. So this car actually used to be a facelift. With the wide body and everything, I don't really need to buy new fenders just to cut them up. It goes over it. You can't even tell that it used to be a facelift. I just didn't want to spend the money, especially when I'm just going to put an over fender on it and call it a day. All right, so now I just got to pin this down. It's probably going to be dark by the time we actually get to pull this thing out of here, so let's just clean our windshield just to make sure. Just setting up our pieces of wood, that way I don't pull my front bumper off. This thing looks pretty freaking janky right now. It kind of looks Mad Maxy. Ended up taking the rear bumper off, but yeah, all the over fenders are off. I've never driven the car like this, so. Not gonna lie, guys, I absolutely do miss driving this thing. I actually used to drive it all the time. Before the door bars and all that stuff. Now it's not really big boy friendly. All right, guys, so we made it to Redbeard's house. He's actually gonna help us film today. We're actually gonna be taking him on his first ride along in a drift car. I think it's his first ride along in a drift car.
Yeah, first time.
First time?
First time, gonna pop my cherry.
And this is a car he's working on right now. Me and him actually have a YouTube channel. It's called The Podcast. We'll put a tag right here, and we'll put it in the description as well. And check that out. We talk about finances and how we make money and can afford multiple race cars. And he's got a fancy-ass boat.
And we're off. Alrighty, Hermie's gonna give us a crash course on drifting.
All right, so when in the drift car, so this right here, it's a Hail Mary bar. The Hail Mary bar on this car is really nice to grab whenever you're drifting, but when we are crashing, you let go.
Fair.
Then right now we're drifting with no e-brake. I actually blew my hydro out at the last drift event, so I actually got to fix that before this upcoming drift event. And yeah, that's basically it. Crash course. Just stay in the car, keep your hands in the vehicle. Sometimes tires explode and they've been known to, hurt people. We had one guy at a drift event. They had his arm out like that. Rear tire exploded, broke his arm.
Oh no.
Yep. So now at the drift events, you can't do that anymore. Else they'll just kick you out right then and there. Their insurance had a big old ordeal about it, which I get it, you know. So keep your hands inside the vehicle. So let's go. Alright guys, so we had a pretty productive day. So we ended up getting the flares off the car, we pulled all the stickers off, and we ended up going on a test drive, making sure everything's good to go. So in the next video, we're going to be actually fixing my Hydro e-brake. The master cylinder actually went out on that. We're going to be replacing it with a whole new unit. I don't plan on putting new decals on the car until after Vegas Drift is over with. That way I'm not rushing it and just regret doing what I did. I'm going to want to put some time into the decals, so we're going to just hold off on that for now. But then after that, we do have to get the 350Z ready. I actually have my little brother, he wants to go drift that car, so we'll get that ready for him. And also a couple of my friends want to go drift it, so we'll just make sure it's good to go. That's going to be it for this week's video. Make sure to catch our next video on Wednesday. We upload every Wednesday and every Sunday, so peace.